The first package is just a few mini DV tapes I wanted for a camcorder I own. The remainder of things are of most interest, like an iPod 7th generation, and the packages containing all the phones and iPad. This is everything I got for my $40. A good array of items, some old, some new, some smashed or missing parts, while others complete. It's up to us to test each device, find out any issues, and see just how many we can fix up and get working. The best finds of this lot are the Galaxy S21 Ultra, S9, S8 Plus, Google Pixel, and iPod 7th generation. We did get some iPhones too, including an iPhone 8, 7, and SE. However, the Apple devices have a high chance of being locked to Apple's iCloud server, preventing their reuse, but we'll have to see. It's now time to see what powers up. I have pre-charged most of these to save time. The only phone that had charge when I found it was the S21 Ultra. Its screen just briefly flickers green when the power button is pressed. But with just a bit of charging, we already have some promising results. What isn't so promising is the iPad first generation, which screen just repetitively flickers when connected to a charger. For the Apple devices that didn't switch on, I'll use this JC-C2 adapter to get the charging current readout and device information if a device powers on. The first device, an iPod Touch 5, was just flat and powered on to a passcode screen. The iPod Touch 6 next to it draws almost no current when connected, indicating a major fault. The SE draws current and powers on, with the JC box identifying the phone's serial and model number, but it appears to have a dead screen and be boot looping. The second last phone is marked as an SE on the back, but is actually an iPhone 5 in a modified case. It draws almost an amp and doesn't power on. The last device is another iPod Touch 6. This one is inside of a scanner case, meaning it likely would have been used by a warehouse worker or something along those lines. It's crushed at the top with a shattered screen like the other iPod. It was also stuck in its case, requiring some persuasion to come free. Not only are both iPods damaged alike, but they have the same engraving on the back, and the MDM sticker indicates it's MDM locked. Both of these would have been used in identical cases. As for functionality, it draws current unlike its partner, but still doesn't switch on. Moving along to the newest device found at this e-waste center, the Galaxy S21 Ultra. It's in good condition other than the two small cracks to the screen. That small amount of damage has taken this phone out of commission. Judging by the sticker residue on the back, I'd say this was likely a company phone. An employee probably broke it and was given another phone, this one being sent for scrap. It's wasteful, but things like this happen every day. Its screen simply flashes green when switched on. The back is somewhat loose, so maybe they've performed data recovery on it. I'll place it on my heat plate regardless to soften the remainder of the adhesive. I could just pry away without heating it, but would likely crack the back panel if I did so. Inside, there's no obvious indication anyone's been working on it. The new display comes with a frame attached, so all the internals will need to be removed and transferred to the new display assembly. I have repaired a Galaxy S21 Ultra before, so if you want a more in-depth process of a display replacement, I suggest watching that video. The motherboard looks like new, with no liquid or physical damage. There's still a few more components to take out, like the front-facing camera, vibration motor, upper antenna, speaker, charge port, and battery. The battery being the hardest thing to remove in the entire phone, requiring some alcohol and some decent prying. With our new display assembly on hand, it's time to get the phone reassembled. Oddly, the antenna lines are the wrong color, but that doesn't really matter. With the internals back in place, it's time for some new adhesive to go onto the back panel before it's reinstalled on the Galaxy S21 Ultra. Once firmly pressed down into place, it's time for a test. As I suspected, the only issue with the phone was a bad screen. All it needs now is a reset. With its plastic protective film removed, it's time to fix up the other Samsung, this Galaxy S8 Plus, which will undergo a similar treatment as the S21 Ultra. It needs a new display, so everything needs to be transferred across to that new display assembly. The last Samsung device we're going to attempt to revive is this S7. I grabbed it as its screen looks good, but on closer inspection it's got some small cracks in the corner. The back panel was already ripped off, however I removed the expanded battery before taking it home on an aeroplane, as I didn't think airport security would be too pleased. Now that I have it in some proper light, this poor S7 looks a bit too far gone, with severe water damage and corrosion. I tried a battery but had no luck. We can't win them all. This S7 belonged in that e-waste center. As for Apple devices, this is the SE that we previously tried to power up. It seems to be boot looping, but considering it's iCloud unlocked and 64GB, let's see if we can fix it. We'll start by opening it up, being sure to disconnect the hidden software pad Touch ID cable. Inside, we can see the battery has expanded, spicy pillow style. This will be why the phone is boot looping. Unfortunately, I don't have an SE battery on hand, so while this will be an easy fix, I can't do it today. I will, however, attach a working display so we can see the device boot looping. The boot loop is caused by the phone's design to switch on when connected to power. As the battery doesn't work and the phone cannot sustain itself from the charger alone, it shuts off, repeating this over and over. Some of the easiest fixes of phones in this lot were simply resetting the phone to factory settings. This iPhone 5S is iCloud unlocked, but locked with a passcode. Resetting it in iTunes will restore functionality. I did purchase a replacement display for this phone, but didn't get time to install it for the video. The Google Pixel not only didn't have any physical damage, but it came reset and ready to go. Instead of trying to resell it, someone threw it away. So this is it, a mega lot of e-waste with some mega scores. While some devices were rightfully sent for recycling, others had little or nothing wrong with them. The lot consisted of a working iPod 7th generation 120GB with an expanded battery, an iPhone 5C 16GB working and in decent condition, an iPhone 5S 32GB working but needs a new display, an iPhone SE 64GB which needs a new battery and display, a Google Pixel 1 in perfect working condition, an unknown Oppo phone that powers on but is passcode locked, requiring a password to reset. Hopefully I can reflash the OS to remove it. A BlackBerry torch which I saved purely as I wanted one, but it holds little value. A Galaxy S9 found in its current condition that works perfectly and is in great shape. A Galaxy S8 Plus owned by the same person as the S9. It required a new display and battery to bring back to life. The best find of all was the Galaxy S21 Ultra, which needed nothing more than a new display. There were a few locked devices that included an iPhone 4, iPod 5, iPhone 7, 8 and 5C. There was also 5 totally dead devices, which consisted of an iPhone 5, 2 iPod Touches, a Galaxy S7 and an iPad 1. Overall, we managed to save quite a number of devices, and while some were too far gone, most were repairable or still perfectly working. It never amazes me what people throw out. And on that note, this has been a Hugh Jeffries video. If you like what you saw, consider subscribing and check out the Tech Lot playlist for more videos just like this one. And if you're looking for any used devices, Hi guys, welcome back to another Hugh Jeffries video. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at another tech lot I picked up. Diving right in, I picked up this iPhone and parts lot for 50 Australian dollars. Amongst the listing photos was something that intrigued my interest. It looked like a custom iPhone. While I've built a dozen or more custom phones, seeing one pop up for sale is really rare. Even though it probably doesn't work, factoring in how many devices I also got in this lot, that phone really cost next to nothing. Once I got everything out of the box, I could see I struck gold. This is a custom 24 karat gold plated iPhone 5. Definitely an older phone, but something so unique and cool shouldn't be broken and in pieces. So I think we need to get it looking luxurious once again. I'm also really not liking the look of that gold display. It doesn't match the gold on the phone and makes the whole device look cheap. After unpacking everything, we can see what else was included. Unfortunately, no other custom or unique phones, just an assortment of older iPhone and iPod models, ranging from the iPhone 3G to 5S and iPod Touch 2 to 5. Along with that, a few new and used parts were included and a whole lot of strange phone cases, which I disposed of. Coming back to the main star of the show, this gold-plated iPhone does not look to have been well cared for. Despite that, the custom conversion looks unfinished and unprofessional. So let's see what we can do about that. Firstly, we need to actually see what the device does when it's plugged in, so connecting up a lightning cable, I was actually able to get it to boot up into an operating system after much trial and error. None of the buttons work, and it also kept regularly coming up with connect to iTunes, but eventually I got it to boot into iOS 7.0.4. So it seems to be alive at the heart, but it's definitely going to need a new display and have its button issues fixed. Let's see if there's anything else wrong with this phone. I'll start by disconnecting that old destroyed LCD and taking a closer look at it. You can see just how poorly it's put together. It's missing screws, things are loose, and the frame of the display is broken and warped in various places. I don't even know how someone could cause such damage. Inside, there's a bent piece of metal, and there are several clips and the eject mechanism for the SIM card reader that are missing. Now, this is a mystery I'd like to solve, and I didn't have to look too far. Its original housing was included as part of the lot. It's got those missing pieces still attached to it, as well as the speaker and microphone mesh grills that were obviously not carried across to the new housing. Back inside, I've noticed the battery is punctured and the cable has been incorrectly routed. Removing it shows us that this battery is the original battery to the phone, so I will replace it later on. Next, I'm going to remove the motherboard, although I've run into an issue as there's no SIM card eject mechanism. Instead, I'll use a spudger to just forcefully push the SIM tray out of the phone. From here, I'll be able to disconnect all of the flex cables connecting to the motherboard and unfasten all of the screws. There are two types of screws used throughout the iPhone 5, which include a Phillips head bit and the standoff bit. After those have been removed, the motherboard can be lifted up and over to one side, where I can disconnect an antenna cable before entirely removing the motherboard. Down at the lower portion of the phone, I'll remove the charging port assembly. This will allow us to install those previously mentioned missing mesh grills. I'll remove them from the old housing and install them on the gold housing as they should have been done the first time. I'll also install these metal brackets, which are responsible for holding on the front display panel as well as the SIM card eject mechanism. What I believe has happened is the person that attempted this conversion forgot to install these parts and only noticed after installing the motherboard. At that point, they didn't bother to fix it and just continue without them. With the added fact that the buttons don't work, I don't think this project was ever fully finished. With the missing parts installed, I'm going to replace the power button next. This can be a bit of a daunting task on the iPhone 5, as it can be difficult to get the replacement power button to function correctly, although I feel like I've gotten the hang of it having done it a few times now. I'll also attach the mesh grill for the microphone, which was also missing, just like the lower mesh grills for the device. I harvested this replacement power button cable from a donor iCloud locked phone. One tip if you ever have to replace one of these